Hi, I'm Chris Carlisle, and this is the Highways and Byways podcast. This week I'll tell you about the first time I went and saw wrestling and what I did for Thanksgiving. Okay, people from all around the United States and all around the world have downloaded this podcast. Hope those who listen here in the States had a nice Thanksgiving with their families. My oldest nephew came down from Wisconsin. He's in the ministry. I went to my sister's sister-in-law for Thanksgiving. We ate turkey and dressing, mashed potatoes with sweet tea, and a pecan pie for dessert. I also watched the Macy's parade and the Thanksgiving parade from Houston. After that, I watched the National Dog Show. One dog named Nash after Nashville, Tennessee. There used to be Nashville, Texas. It was in Milam County on the way to Hearn, and was almost the capital of Texas. It was also the Milam County seat before Cameron. It's a ghost town now. It was named after Nashville, Tennessee. I named this podcast after a column that used to be in the hometown newspaper that I grew up reading. And I found a page from that paper from 1991 and had the column in it. And it was written by the publisher. And that week he wrote asking everyone to pray for the victims of the shooting at Luby's in Killeen that had happened the week before. And there was also a picture of a lady who turned 105, an article about a meeting in Westphalia, Texas against the bullet train. My mom took me to see wrestling on for my birthday when I turned 16. It was Texas All-Star Wrestling in the Mayburn Civic Center in Temple, Texas. A young Shawn Michaels was on the card. So was the Shockmaster. He was called Big Bubba then. Texas All-Star Wrestling was from San Antonio. It was started in 1978 as Southwest Championship Wrestling. The promoter was former wrestler Joe Blanchard. Joe Blanchard's son, Tully Blanchard, who was one of the original Four Horsemen, and his granddaughter, Tessa Blanchard, have also gone into wrestling. The name was changed to Texas All-Star when it was sold in 1985. I used to watch it on Channel 6 from Temple. A big part of Thanksgiving is football, and I went and saw Baylor play Texas in Waco back in 1994. Texas won 63-35. Last Wednesday was the 60th anniversary of the Kennedy assassination. President John F. Kennedy was assassinated as he rode in a motorcade in Dallas on November 22, 1963. Texas Governor John Connally was wounded. By that time, we heard about it from my mom. She said she heard it on the bulletin on the radio, and they said that he's told me that they watched the coverage from Walter Cronkite on CBS, like a lot of Americans did. Vice President Lyndon Johnson from Texas was sworn in on Air Force One at Love Field by Judge Sarah T. Hughes. I've been to the Sixth Floor Museum in the Texas School Book Depository, and I got a video about Channel 4's coverage. I also have a book about the coverage of the assassination. A CD came with it. It's narrated by Dan Rather. It has radio and audio from television coverage and comments and photos. Former First Lady Rosalind Carter passed away. Mrs. Carter was 96 years old. She is survived by her husband, former President Jimmy Carter, and 4 children. Mrs. Carter was born in 1927, and she married Mr. Carter in 1946. I listened to 2 episodes of the radio show Suspense. It was on CBS from 1942 to 1962, and had some big-name stars on it. One episode was called The House in Cypress Canyon. The star was Robert Taylor. The episode starts with a rental agent reading a manuscript found in a house for rent. In the manuscript, a man tells that after he and his wife rented a house, weird things started to happen. They heard a loud blood-curdling scream and saw blood coming from a locked closet. The wife attacked the husband while she was sleepwalking, and the milkman was killed when somebody ripped his throat out, or something. Back at the rental office, the agent showed the friend a newspaper clipping about a murder-suicide. Apparently the man shot his wife and then himself. After their friend leaves, the couple comes in. The man introduces himself and his wife, and they have the same name as the couple in the manuscript. The story is written by Robert Richards and was heard on December 5, 1946. The other episode was Sorry, Wrong Number. Agnes Moorehead was the star of that episode. And then a woman who has a plot to kill a woman over the phone. She has trouble getting the police to check it out. She hears someone downstairs and finds out that she is the intended victim. She screams as a train passes by. The police call back and a man answers and says, "Sorry, wrong number." That was heard on May 25th, 1943, and heard 7 more times. It was made into a movie starring Barbara Stanwyck, and it was written by Lucille Fletcher. The first time I heard about the Lone Ranger was when I got an action figure for my birthday. The character was created for a radio show by Franz Stracker and George W. Trendle. He was played on radio by several actors, including Earl Gracer and Bruce Beamer. Brace Beamer. The Lone Ranger TV series went on the air in 1949. Clayton Moore played the Lone Ranger, and so did an actor named John Hart. Jay Silverheels played his faithful Indian companion Tonto. And there were 2 movies made. I went and saw one of them. They both bombed at the box office. The Lone Ranger is a story of a ranger named John Reed, who survives an ambush that kills 5 other Texas Rangers, including his brother Dan. The Lone Ranger and Tonto had horses named Silver and Scout. I have the radio show on It's a favorite on the Spreaker podcast app, and I have the TV show on 2 DVD sets. Johnny Cash's hit song Ring of Fire was written by his wife June Carter. Her sister Anita also recorded it in 1963, right before Johnny Cash did. She was inspired to write a song after seeing a line from a poem that stated, "Love is like a burning ring of fire" in a book of poems that was owned by her uncle, A.P. Carter. Other versions of the song have been recorded by Eric Burden and the Animals. Cash did a duet with Sandy Kelly that went to #1 on the Irish charts. Social Distortion had a version, so did Alan Jackson. Here's something from the book of Jeremiah, chapter 33, verse 3. "Call unto me, and I will answer thee, and show thee great and mighty things which thou knowest not." Thank you for listening or watching. Please subscribe on which platform you listen, and also on YouTube. And leave a like and a rating. And I apologize for it being voice only. My camera was messing up. The book about the JFK assassination is called President Kennedy Has Been Shot by the New Museum, with Kathy Trott and Susan Bennett. Now I'm your host, Chris Carlisle. I also wrote and produced this episode. So if you're listening right now in the daytime, enjoy the rest of your day. If you're about to go to bed, pleasant dreams.